Hello everyone, this is linkslefthandman and I am back on YouTube. Andrew has taken a hiatus, so it's just me now, and I'm going to be reviewing Fallout 4 today. I'm going to try and get through as much as I can in as short of time as I can so I don't take up much of your day, but hopefully I'm going to get through the biggest points, and I hope I don't leave much out. But I'm going to have to talk pretty fast to get through all this because Fallout 4 is a massive game. So, here we go. First and foremost, the world. Bethesda has hit another home run. They have created... That food paste just bled. Did blood come out of that food paste? Are food paste sentient beings? We may never know. But Bethesda has created another top-tier world that you can spend hundreds of hours exploring. They've always set the bar with worlds like Skyrim, Morrowind, you name it. Every area in Fallout 4 feels fully fleshed out and unique. The downside to this large, expansive world, however, is the game engine. It is not up to date with today's cutting-edge technology. I mean, it's slightly polished from the last game, and many elements seem plasticized and don't look very good. If you look at some of these textures, many of them are just copy and pasted from New Vegas, which... from Bethesda, I find that unacceptable. But despite the outdated graphics, there is a plethora of new enemies. As you already saw, there was the legendary putrid ghoul. There's super mutant suiciders. I mean, these things are literally super mutants sprinting at you, wielding the power of Adam itself. What even? And then, of course, the perfectly placed frag for lethal. Regardless, this game, this world, feels so alive. You are sniping the heads off of psychotic raiders one moment, only to look up and see gunners that have just hijacked the vertibird that Brotherhood of Steel fighters had just touched down in moments earlier. This world is so fluid and always changing, making your everyday experience ever changing itself. But for as great as this world is, this is some of the problems that I'm talking about. Seriously, did one guy just get down on his hands and knees and scrub the ever-living shit out of that one area of the ship? Or is there water dripping down? Because I don't see any water. I see no water there. That is a perfectly clean spot on this walkway. With these graphics, you can't tell what anything is. I'm going to take out my axe and see if this is water. Even though I don't think it is. See? It's not. It's not water. What is it? Once you solve the case of the mysterious Pridwin Polisher, then you're jumping into your suit of T60 power armor. This bad boy can jump from 1,000 feet in the air and take 0 damage whatsoever. This thing actually feels and looks like power armor. You fuel this baby up using fuel cells that you find throughout the world, and I gotta give Bethesda props. This is the first time in a Fallout game where it actually feels like you're wearing futuristic, colossal suits of armor, just like the Halo Spartans. I am impressed. On the other hand, there isn't really a point to making them rare or anything like that, because they're not. You find your 37th suit of power armor and throw it into your warehouse and try and find space for it. I wish that Bethesda would have made these things really rare and hard to find instead of just being able to buy them off of merchants. I feel like this is a really wasted opportunity in terms of making a huge game-breaking item.
The scavenging in this game is different. You have to find specific items for your settlements to grow, like adhesives and steel, instead of getting important things like backup weapons for when your weapons are breaking and expensive items. Adhesive is more of a thing to grab than a gun. In a post-apocalyptic world, That is insanity. I don't really understand that change at all. But at least the lockpicking and hacking hasn't changed.
What has changed, though, is the combat. The combat now feels much better and much more like an FPS than just an RPG that has VATS and then a crappy FPS slapped onto it after that, like Fallout 3 sometimes did. Speaking of VATS, the VATS in this game is highly improved from any other VATS we've seen, because now you get slow motion as you're shooting and actually makes it feel like you're in real time, but not. Just like a futuristic simulation of shooting should be in a Fallout game. However, when I was talking about the FPS being better, the RPG is much worse. The role-playing aspect of this game, look at this magazine. It gives you a percentage bonus. Before, magazines used to give you skill points like an actual RPG game. But now, all there is in the game is perks and percentage points. You have to put in perks into your explosives to get anywhere with explosives. You don't deal any damage anymore with explosives or with guns or anything like that unless you put perks into it. Before, you had to spend all your skill points and attribute points on leveling up your explosives if you wanted to be good. Now, you can't specialize in something. You have to wait until level 40 to maximize your explosives output. That's just pathetic. Another problem I'm having a hard time getting over is the whole critical. It isn't based on luck anymore. You literally fill up a critical hit meter just to get a critical hit. And the critical hits, when you activate them, they always... Is that a penetrating flamer? Is that gun called penetrating flamer? Are you kidding me? That's a little risque, don't you think, Fallout? But again, I shouldn't just be able to know exactly when I'm going to get a critical hit. They're supposed to be by chance. They're supposed to be luck. They're not supposed to be just activate one. Oh, and here's another thing. Whenever you fast travel, there's a high chance that someone is going to kill you immediately. I literally turn around and I die. That's great. That's pretty great. Now on to the characters in this game. The characters are all very well written, except for a few small exceptions. Strong, I'm looking at you. But all the characters like Elder Maxon, Piper, everyone has a reason to be the way that they are. And it's amazing. They all have their own backstories, and everything is all well meshed into the whole synth overlord problem that's going on with the Institute. Everything is well written, and it's amazing to see. The big problem here is the dialogue. The dialogue shoehorns you into 4 different choices, kind of like Mass Effect, where they give you 6 sometimes, but maybe less. And you are almost always saying yes to everything. There's no way around it. There's no speech checks. Well, there is, but it's kind of terrible. And you're kind of forced you're forced into going the way the game wants you to go. Like here, I walked into this room. They said, come here. So I walked in, and now, just after getting briefed with something, I am immediately enemies with the railroad. I was their friends, but now I just hate them, apparently. I didn't even know that. They hate me too, for no reason. They don't even know that I'm on this mission, but they hate me. So that's great. The crafting in this game, it feels way worse than it should have been. Probably because you are forced to make so many settlements that they don't even feel unique anymore. You literally get sent out to 1,000 different settlements, and you have to make all of them. Speaking of getting sent out to all these settlements, oh my god, these Radiant quests are awful. They literally will send you everywhere just to get the most mundane things you have to bring back and then do it again and do all this crap again, and it just isn't fun anymore. I mean, Preston Garvey literally is my worst enemy in this game. He is worse than anyone in this entire game just because he's the most monotonous piece of crap ever. Now, it wouldn't really be a Fallout game if it weren't for random chance with the pickups of the legendary items and bugs. Specifically, people getting stuck in walls. Oh, well, I think I'm just going to leave you there for right now. He's just stuck. So, I'm just not going to deal with that. And as a last little tidbit, here's a ghoul literally melting into the pavement. So, what do I think about Fallout 4? What is my final rating for this game? It has an incredible open world atmosphere that would literally take you hundreds of hours to beat. So that alone gets you all the value you could possibly need. But I'm sitting at about 140 hours, and I'm thinking, is this the 10 out of 10 best game that I could have possibly gotten? Is this the game that I was hyping myself up for? No, it was not. The crafting system needs a lot of work. It really does. The dialogue system needs polishing, or it needs something different. It can't just copy Mass Effect and think that it's going to be good. So, with the things they tried that were new, they weren't great. And the Radiant quests were far too intense. Radiant quests, for people that don't know, are quests that are over and over and over again. They're unstoppable. You literally do them forever. And Preston Garvey's quests in particular, he'll send you to a certain settlement, and he will keep sending you to the same settlement even after you've saved it. He'll say they need help again with the same fucking problem. So it really needs some work. But with all the love that was put into this game, I have to put it as an 8.2 out of 10. Great. Only because this game was great. It wasn't incredible, but it was very, very good. Great, even. And that's my consensus. So, thanks for watching, everybody. This is Links Left Hand Man. I'm glad to be back on YouTube. See you next time.